All right. So tonight's Thursday night football game in Tampa. Weird game. Weird game. Coming from a Patriot fan, and this is a weird game overall. I know, just because you just said weird game. It's only like 10 seconds into the video. I know. Just because of weird of how the Patriots won this game. Because for me, entering this game, I thought, okay, both defenses aren't very good. Probably going to be a shootout. I won't say it was so much of a defensive game, but I mean, for the Patriots, you had no Gronkowski. He was a late scratch due to a thigh injury. And then you have on the, who was it? For the Buccaneers, you had TJ Ward out, you had Levante David out, and you also had Quan Alexander also out. And I'm sitting there going, why don't you say Gerald McCoy is out for the Bucs? That's the whole defense pretty much in a nutshell. But that being said, this game, again, it was different. Because there was the good, the bad, the ugly, and then price of the final score, you're like, oh, well, but, Patriots won. You should be happy. And, I am happy. The Patriots did win. Good. As I said last week, if they didn't win, their season's probably over. And even though they're in the AFC East in a weak division where, Lol the Jets, Jake Cutler for the Dolphins, and the Bills always seem to somehow, some way, every other year, be really good in the first quarter of the season and just go free falling down there, by the way. Shout out, rest in peace, Tom Petty, for that one. But, how much serious? So, we go on to this game, and not a good game for Tom Brady. Not a good game. Now you think, well, he threw for 300 plus yards. He only had 10 incompletions, 30 for 40. And he had a touchdown. That's not a bad game. He had a fumble. Did throw an interception, got sacked 3 times, and I believe I saw somewhere Tom Brady has been sacked already about 16 or 17 times already, and he was sacked, I believe, only 14 times last season. We're into week 5, and he's already been sacked about 15, 16 times. Are you serious? He's going to be dead by week, 8. God. Jimmy G, warm up. But anywho, so kind of, a bad game for Brady. If this was any other quarterback, like an average quarterback, let's say, I don't know, Sam Bradford, for example, this could be a decent game, I'd say, for them. But for a guy like him, but for Tom Brady, it's kind of meh. By the way, before anyone blames, Brandon Cooks for that interception, please rethink about your life, okay? Anyone that knows me knows that, I'm a Tom Brady fanboy. And that was just Brady underthrowing it with a bad throw and a good play by Justin Evans. It was a good play. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Good play by him, bad throw by Brady. Bucs capitalized. Simple as that. I'll get to the Bucs in a second. Running-wise, not much to say. I mean, Deion Lewis had a good run for 31 yards, but that was pretty much the highlight for the running attack for the Patriots. Brandon Cooks, of course, he's familiar with the Bucs. Former Saint, used to facing the Bucs, NFC South. Five receptions, 85 yards. Chris Hogan had the lone touchdown in the game. Eight receptions, 74 yards and a touchdown. And I mentioned about Brady having a fumble, and got a few sacks on Jameis Winston, and of course Stephen Gostkowski, a perfect 4 for 4 with a 48-yard field goal. Now, usually I just say something like that and I just brush it off, like, oh yeah, it's a 40-yard field goal, 4 for 4, okay, cool, done. Here we go. Just when it gets good. By the way, the officiating I don't know why, the officiating was kind of bad in this game, I thought. It wasn't all bad. Let me rephrase that. There were at times the officiating was bad. But for the most part, it was fair, good. So, the part that I thought was bad was, simple things that's like, okay, the Bucs are within 10 yards of, their territory, their side of the football field. Jameis Winston throws back, clearly intentional grounding. No call. Not like it should be a safety or anything, but anyhow. And I believe that was in the third quarter, because that would have been, I believe, 18-7, and the Patriots would have had the football. Yeah, you see where I'm coming from now, aren't you? And then we go on to Jameis Winston of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good game for Jameis Winston. Actually, Jameis had a weird game as well. He had kind of like a decent game, but I mean, 26 for 46, 334 yards. Like, okay, 334 yards, that's pretty good. Yeah, 200 of those came in the fourth quarter, including the one touchdown he had to Cameron Brate. And just sacked a couple times. Doug Martin, minimal Doug Martin here, 1374. He did have a touchdown. Smart of me for starting him in fantasy football. By the way, if you got Doug Martin in fantasy football, when everybody else thought you're like, oh, you're dumb for picking him up. Yeah, you're laughing in their faces right now, aren't you? And then Deshaun Jackson easily best target for them. 5 receptions, 106 yards. But shout out to Stephon Gilmore of the Patriots, and here's the reason why I say that. Stephon Gilmore has gotten a lot of heat from press, Patriot fans, for not showing up, myself included. Giving him heat for that. Yeah, I still remember week 1, Tyreek Hill just burned him like there was no tomorrow. And that's the president's what he said tonight I might not be. But anyways, just Stephon Gilmore hasn't played well. He's Benjamin just lit him up last week as well. But Mike Evans, tall, lengthy, fast wide receiver. Mike Evans just 5 receptions for 49 yards. Not really that good for Mike Evans. So Stephon Gilmore did his thing. He stayed up, and you could tell. You watched the game footage. Jameis Winston targeted Mike Evans several times as usual. And there were times where it's like, okay, good defense by Gilmore. So, and then, of course, the elephant in the room. I know y'all gonna wait for this. The kicking for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'd already seen people say, oh, the other reason why the Buccaneers lost this game is because of Nick Folk. It's a reasonable argument. I'm not going to downplay it. I'm not going to say, oh, you're dumb or you don't know what you're talking about. You can make that fair argument. He was 0 for 3, okay? And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach, his name escapes me right now, even though I see his face because of, Hard Knocks. If your kicker is having issues, and it wasn't just like this week, he had issues last week as well against the Giants, where they barely won against the Giants. If you already missed a field goal and he's been on a cold streak, and it's about to be the end of the first half, do you really want to go for a 55-yard field goal? Apparently, that was like the great idea to try to go for that. And I'm sitting here going, this Patriot defense hasn't been necessarily all that great this year. You can chug the ball down the field and maybe get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Get something good for you. Not a 55-yard field goal by Nick Folk. Nick Folk is about to be with, what is it? Young Ho Koo level of I'm a free agent because I just got cut because I stink. So yeah, Nick Folk stinks. It was just weird too because from my same Nick Folk, Nick Folk, as a Patriot fan, he actually wasn't too bad with the Jets. He was actually a relatively consistent kicker. He just had a really bad game, and last week he kind of struggled as well. So, there's a good chance when we all wake up tomorrow, Nick Folk is out of a job. But I don't know what the Bucs are going to do with that situation because who do you bring in? Do you bring in Koo? I think Josh Lambo is still available in free agency. Who do you bring in if you're the Bucs? So, I don't know. But the thing is, too, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is they got a good young squad. And I've known this for a while. Hard Knocks proved it. A good young squad. They just need to go through some hurdles. The one thing about Jameis Winston I've always noticed, he's obviously, it's not fair to compare him because he's a rookie, but a more mature, more polished Deshaun Kaiser. You know what I mean? He is, you see that kind of potential in, Deshaun Kaiser. You see that, Deshaun Kaiser gets his stuff together and, matures a bit, spending more time playing NFL games. Maybe he could be a Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, the problem with him is that, yes, he's talented, he's got the potential, he could be inaccurate at times, and it's kind of worrisome. So, and he has targets too. It's not like, oh, he has no throw the football to. He has Deshaun Jackson, Cameron Brate, Mike Evans. And another thing too, before I forget, who is he throwing to on the last play of the game when the Bucs were in the red zone? Who was he throwing it to? I know people were saying, oh, O.J. Howard. He was throwing to O.J. Howard. Yes, I know he was throwing it to O.J. Howard. There's just one problem with that, though. First off, O.J. Howard wasn't even looking. O.J. Howard was looking at the goalpost. I kid you not. Look back at the final play. You'll see it. He was looking at the goalpost. He wasn't even looking in the direction of Jameis Winston. You have about a couple of Patriot defenders. I believe it was a middle linebacker, defensive back, just all together, just going like this. Like O.J. Howard's like right here. This is like the defensive back. This is the outside linebacker just going, ooh. Like, that was a good idea. And I get it. Oh, there was 3 seconds left of the game. Okay, obviously there was. But at that point, Jameis Winston might as well test his luck and go, you know what? I got some speed. Cam Newton ran all over this team just 4 days ago. Let me just run it in or something. You know what I mean? Because what? Nobody was open. Look back. Patriots actually did a good job in coverage in this particular point. Mike Evans wasn't open. Deshaun Jackson wasn't open. O.J. Howard wasn't open. Cameron Brate wasn't. No one was open for the Bucs. You might as well run it. Because that pass was almost picked off, in all honesty. Should have been, but, the result was the same. Patriots won, so I'm not going to complain or anything. I'm not going to go to it, so. Anyways, but, not a pretty win for the Patriots overall, but, they'll take it at this point. And they do have 10 days to rest. They got to go at Metlife Stadium, I believe, against the Jets. J-E-T-S, who, again, don't know how to tank for whatever reason. And then they got the Browns coming up, a.k.a. the worst team in the National Football League. So they should be 3-2. Keyword should. We should see how that goes on Sunday afternoon. And what else real quick? Oh, and by then, the Patriots should have Gronk healthy. They should have Rex Burkhead healthy. So that obviously helps Brady up and the rest of the offense as well, too. So, and I always notice, too, even when the Jets kind of like stink or they're not that good, the Jets play competitive with the Patriots at MetLife. Not in Gillette. At Gillette, usually it's the Patriots just route them out of the building. But at MetLife, it's competitive. So, should be an interesting matchup for that one next Sunday. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, Patriots win this one 19-14. Not a pretty win, like I said before, but it's a win I'm sure Bill Belichick and the Patriots will happily take. And I know more people, and it's a sad thing, too, because people are going to look at this game and go, oh, yeah, Nick Folk missing 3 field goals. Yeah, he missed 3 field goals. He choked. He stunk. We get it. Bad game for him. But, you really got to give credit also to the Patriots defense. Because, again, Jameis Winston, Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, Doug Martin even coming after suspension. These are nice. Cameron Brate to a certain degree. These are good weapons. And, Patriots, I mean, other than, Benjamin, who was out of shape, and obviously Cam Newton was struggling, and don't even get me started how I feel about Cam Newton, his sexist comment, just joke. But, yeah, Cam Newton's a joke. But the thing is, you saw what Cam Newton, the Panthers offense is against the Patriots. So you're thinking, oh God, I can imagine what they're going to do against the Buccaneers, 4 nights later. So this is a vast improvement. There's still a little bit of holes, like I mentioned, the 300-plus yards and, the stupid penalties, but, they're slowly coming together for the Patriots. This gives a bit more hope to their defense. So, anyways, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, Patriots win this one, 19-14. 3-2 on the season, 2-0 away. Head to Metlife Stadium next Sunday afternoon. So, hope you all have a good night. I'm out.